Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. We got Kelly with us today. And Kelly, we're about halfway through the year, almost. We're almost there. It's quickly approaching. Summer is coming, halfway through the year. We've made it through, the winter, which I know isn't that bad for you in Phoenix. It's actually probably pretty pleasant. But for most of the rest of the country, we are heading into the summer market and halfway through the year. So Kelly, how has your year gone so far? What you expected? Not at all what you expected, kind of in line. What's your kind of reflection on the first half of 2026 so far?
Okay, so if we're being honest, which I think we should be, because that's the only way to do this, right? We are behind. This is not where we expected to be at this time of the year. So we have some making up to do. This first half, so to speak, has been a little challenging. I think for a lot of people across America, and I think it might get even more so. We'll see. I mean, in Phoenix, I think it could get that way. Obviously, when we start getting in the late July and August, it can slow down a little bit. But the buyers are there. It's a matter of setting expectations and doing the work. So we have some agents on our team that are doing the work. We have some that are choosing, not to as much. But we're not where we need to be. And so we're going to kick this thing up this summer and into the second half of the year.
Absolutely. And I think that this is a really good time. And I think a lot of people are kind of feeling that way as well, Kelly. I don't think that's a unique situation to you. I think it's kind of what we're seeing across America right now, is just kind of this gridlock or this hesitancy with people to do something, right? Which makes it harder to find people to help, right? When they don't really want the help right now. But if we're, if you're in that same boat, or if you're above it, I mean, great, you want to keep that going. Right now is probably a good time to kind of take a look back. I know we talked about goal setting, writing your business plan, setting those numbers for what you need to hit. And right now is probably a good time to kind of look through that, knowing your numbers, right, Kelly?
Yeah, that's big. I think this is a good reminder. That's why we wanted to make sure we put this out here today. Knowing reminder of the second half is coming up, and you don't want to wait to the second half of the year, right, end of June, to say, "Oh, I'm now clearly not halfway towards my goal, so let's make the move right now." We should be looking at that on a consistent basis, and we do at least a monthly basis. But the reality is, definitely you should be doing it on a weekly basis. You have hopefully a coaching accountability partner. Maybe another agent on your team, whatever it may be, another agent, different brokerage, it doesn't matter. And have that accountability partner to say, okay, where do I stand today? By the way, last week, did I hit my numbers? What is my goal? Now, we talk about winning the day all the time. And I think if you win the day, you win the week, win the month, and it just snowballs, right? Well, winning the day is extremely important. And it's a metric that nobody talks about in real estate, but we talk about it here. Because if you don't win your day, you'll clearly not win your year. How do you know if you win the day? Well, you know you win the day if the number one most important metric that you can hit for your business is actually achieved. So, for example, most people would say, well, is that contacts? Maybe, but not necessarily. Secondary, in our opinion now. We used to be big on that. The second thing most people say is, oh, okay, did I set an appointment for the day? Now, if you could set one appointment every single day, that'd be amazing. But the reality is most people don't and won't. Even if you're pretty good, sometimes you're just going to have those days. Now you can average them out.
A little less in your control.
Yeah, it is. Now you can average them out, and it might equal that. In many cases, it probably should for working days of the year. But we want a metric to where when you go home for the day, whenever that is, when you choose to stop working for the day, you already won it. So if you get 2 appointments tomorrow, that makes up for the one you missed today. Okay, that's great. But that one day when you went home, you weren't sure if you actually won the day. So winning the day is extremely important. Now, that one metric for us, which I would highly recommend for everybody, is you can call it whatever you want. We call it opportunities. An opportunity is somebody, this is how we define it, and it's somewhat loosely defined. You can change that definition of however you want, but the key is to be consistent across the board on it. For us, it is somebody who gives us permission to follow up in the future, and they are not working with a real estate agent that they already, have chosen. It's that simple. And if you come across that person today, that is an opportunity. That person goes into your database and they go on the appropriate plan that you should have for your lead follow-up system to then keep in touch with them for the appropriate way to do so based upon however that conversation went. So that is the key. Now, one of the best ways you can get that is, in conjunction with that is going to be time frame. Do you have to have time frame? No. They say, hey, Kelly, listen, I just bought my house a couple years ago and I'm good. I'm not selling or buying anytime soon. We love the house. Is that a throwaway? No. Well, we talk about doing the gold brick to find out if you have the chance to earn the business in the future based upon how much they like their agent that did the job for them just 2 years ago. And if there's an opportunity there, they become just that, an opportunity. You now have a chance to earn their business, their referral business, and that sort of thing. So that is a phenomenal way to keep track of how you win your day. Did you get how many opportunities you need to get to one closing? There's a metric there that exists based upon conversion rates between 7 different metrics. That's how we do it, working backwards to actually dollars in your bank account. That being said, what's your number? What's your number? So there's a quick story I'll say, guys, in a book. I'm going to mess the book up, so I won't say the book title because I'm not sure. But it's about Charles Schwab. And apparently Charles Schwab, the banking, financial institution, I didn't know this, but apparently, and I haven't researched this, so I'm assuming it's true based on what the author said, but Charles Schwab actually, at some point before founding what is to be Charles Schwab today, the financial institution, ran some sort of factory manufacturing of some sort back, in I think the early 1900s or maybe in 1800s. And what happened was in this manufacturing, I think it was a paper mill or something like that, right? That he ran. He was the boss. He was the owner. Well, they ran 24 hours a day. And what he realized is because he had 3 different shifts of employees throughout the day, is that if someone knew their number, if the group knew their number, then they could be clear on what they had to achieve, and then they could compete against other people to be the best shift out of the 3. So what the story somehow goes that the first shift made, 5 widgets, whatever they were, they were accomplishing, right? They had 5. Well, he realized that they were underproducing. He just knew they were underproducing. So he came into the second shift and realized after a day that they were at like 7. Well, why is the second shift doing more than the first shift or the third, whatever it was? Doesn't matter. Then what he did was he came in the next day. He wrote on, I think the factory floor, they said, the number for the next shift. And he wrote 8 or whatever the number was. And then people came in, they whispered, oh, the big boss, he just basically wrote the number on there. That's what the people ahead of us, the shift just achieved. They achieved 8. Well, let's get 9. And there's some incentives there and that kind of stuff, right? Let's get 9. And before you know it, the very next day, they got 9. So then he came in there and realized that. Then he upped the ante and wrote 10 on the floor. They did 10. Let's do 11. The same people who thought they couldn't do more than like 5 or 6 was now doing 11. So it's only because they were clear on the number they had to achieve. So if you are clear before you put your head down at night on the number you need to achieve for the day, then that's the number. And if it's 3 opportunities a day, that means 3 people put into your database that you have permission to follow up with in the future, then that's the number. And if you do that every single day, you will see your business literally explode and, most importantly, be consistent. So you have certainty in your business as well.
It really comes down to, I think it's interesting because that really does come down to, I know we've talked about mindset and stuff in the past a little bit here, and it can feel kind of, hokey pokey a little bit, but like that really is part of mindset. If you know that, because I mean, if you just had no goal, sure, you could achieve those numbers or you could not, but like with that example, you are so much more likely when you have a number that your mind wants to work toward that number, right?
Yep.
It's kind of that motivation and almost like playing a game with yourself, right? Which is helpful to make it not feel so, oh, I have to do this, I got to do this. It really does kind of put it in a better, positive mindset so that you can achieve those.
And the reward, Elizabeth, is that when it's achieved, it's achieved. So it's not work till 7, 8 o'clock at night, right? Now it could be if you haven't achieved it, but if you achieve it by 10:30 in the morning because you started at 8 or whatever, then I always say this, then go to the resort pool and have fun, right? Eat some bonbons and hang out with a big smile on your face because you won the day. But conversely, the next day, when it's 5:30, everyone's gone for the day, and you haven't won your day, you don't go home. You stay and you finish until you win that day. And that's how you have consistency in your business.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, again, we're getting toward the middle of the year. Go back, check your numbers. Have you been hitting them? If not, now is the time to hit that goal. Like, you got some making up to do for the end of the year, right? And Kelly, if anybody has any questions about this or any other topic in real estate, where can they reach you?
Yeah, guys, hit me up on Instagram at Kelly Cook Homes. Shoot me a follow there, please, and I'll follow you back.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.